Rhea Ripley is one of the most dominant wrestlers in WWE today. At the young age of 27, she's already built together a career that can put her in the conversations of Hall of Fame status. So you may be asking, why the hell do you not want her to win the title then? Before we get to the answer, I'm gonna need you to sit back, grab some snacks, and enjoy the video. The reason why I believe Rhea Ripley shouldn't win the world title is because of the lack of credible opponents on the roster. If you take a look at the women's roster for Raw, it is lacking star power needed to bring fuel to the title reign of someone like the Eradicator. When you look at her previous title reign, these are the same problems she ran into, which made it seem so dry in the first place. She faced the likes of Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, Raquel Rodriguez, Zoe Stark, Natalya, Ivy Nile, Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch. Baszler has not been booked into anything interesting for the past few years. One of her biggest moments on the main roster was facing her best friend in Ronda Rousey, and even that flopped. Zelina wasn't and is never going to be a threat to a title reign as long as Rhea Ripley is a champion. Raquel was the only person who could rival with Ripley's strength, but it was only because she was taller than her by a good few inches, but her booking was terrible as well. Zoe was fresh into the main roster and she was not clicking with the crowd whatsoever. I don't even have to explain why Natalya isn't a threat. Ivy Nile was also fresh onto the scene and was in no way a threat to the title reign. Nia Jax was where things got really interesting because she had the largest and most realistic chance to take away the title, but she was never going to do it at Perth, Australia. And finally, Becky Lynch. Many people had a feeling she was taking the title, but it would have made sense considering that they were trying to establish Rhea as one of the icons of the business herself. I just named to you pretty much the entirety of Raw's current roster at the moment. If Rhea was to win the title, we will be facing the same exact problems because, to put it to you straight, none of these women have gotten booked any better since. None of these women that Ripley faced came out better after the feud ended. They were essentially there to feed Ripley and there was no story behind it. I mean, she was more involved with the men's storylines than she was with the woman. That is when I truly lost faith into her entire title reign. Name a good feud under her title reign. Alright, you can't, because there were barely any feuds that grabbed your attention. Unfortunately, her success leads to her downfall. Nobody on the Raw women's roster is marketed anywhere close to the same atmosphere as Rhea Ripley, and that leads to many people not really investing into the title reign because we know she's going to win and there is no true concern of her losing the title. Let's talk about her current feud with Liv Morgan. I personally am not a fan of this rivalry because I feel like it strayed away from the major selling point that got me interested in the first place: revenge. Rhea Ripley was injured in storyline by Liv Morgan and was taken out for a few months, which caused her to relinquish the title in the process. Becky Lynch, the person who Rhea defeated at WrestleMania, won the world title in a battle royal. Liv Morgan will go on to defeat Becky Lynch at Queen of the Ring to become the new women's world champion. The whole buzz was Rhea coming back to take what's rightfully hers, which is the world title, from the person who put her on the shelf for all those months, Liv Morgan. The story of revenge was written naturally, and I was excited for Rhea's return, especially considering how she was touching up on Dominic. She returned and the story has turned into who could win the love of Dominic. I wanted it to be strictly about the world title, but like true WWE fashion, they booked the women's storylines with the involvement of some sorts by a man. Anytime this feud is on TV, I tend to tune out because it just doesn't cater to me. I don't care about Liv doing nasty things to Dom better than Rhea can. I care about Rhea wanting to regain the title that she never lost. In this entire rivalry, Liv has been booked like an absolute coward, and this is the same woman who stood up to Ronda Rousey, by the way. Yes, I understand that Liv is a heel doing heel things, but how exactly am I supposed to think that she has any chance against Rhea whenever they face each other again? I mean, did you see what this woman did to Liv at Bash in Berlin? I'm supposed to believe that she is the champion? If I was a casual, I would have thought Rhea was the champion with how badly Liv Morgan's being booked. This girl ran away from Rhea while this girl only had one leg in good condition. That's pathetic. It sucks because I predicted this to be one of the best women feuds that WWE has ever produced. I mean, you have the revenge story, the epic return, and the history for this to be amazing, but it just doesn't feel that way. I guess my expectations are ruining my experience. Look at the Punk and McIntyre feud. Why is it that these two seem like they hate each other more when they have only been feuding for 3 to 4 months now? Liv Morgan took some months off of Rhea's career, but the heat behind this doesn't make it feel that way. For example, look at their match at SummerSlam. Rhea was practically playing with her food rather than absolutely mauling her whenever she got the chance. And Liv was so bent on destroying Rhea's career when she was a babyface, but as soon as she turns heel, her character is now scared of Rhea and is not enjoyable to me as a fan. I wouldn't care if Liv was exiting the ring while Rhea was on her way to play mind games, but she is legit running in fear with no intentions of actually fighting back. So why exactly would I be excited for a Hell in a Cell match or a First Blood match between the two if it feels like Rhea will squash the poor little girl? I hope I explained it well enough for you to enter my mind on why I'm not enjoying this feud as much as others. One thing I can tell you though is that the rivalry has pushed the careers of both of these women to new heights. Liv Morgan went from just another person on the roster to doing the best work of her career consistently, and Rhea has become one of the most over acts in the company as if she already wasn't on that level. Do I enjoy Liv's work right now? No, but I can acknowledge that she has leveled up. Now, how would I solve the problem of a future title reign for Rhea Ripley? Let's start off with rebooking the women's division. In order for multiple women to start getting chances, we need to create a mid-card title. There are so many talented wrestlers on the roster that are just sitting around not being properly utilized, and I think this will force the creative team to finally create stories for those involved in nothing. Lyra Valkyria will be a great first mid-card champion because she hasn't been in anything important recently besides the Queen of the Ring tournament. You could use the IC title as a stepping stone to the world title because of the reps that these women would receive. It also gives the crowd something to invest in because those who are doing nothing would be involved in fighting for a championship that they actually have a chance at winning. WWE needs to do a better job with balancing the rosters because the draft has done some major damage. From Cody's title ring lacking opponents to the women's division on Raw lacking star power, that draft has done some nasty things. Like, what really goes on in the meetings when discussing who's going to be on what brand? I thought they stacked the roster on Raw because of Netflix, until I seen how bad the star power is for the women's side of things. Another solution could be getting rid of the women's tag team titles. Let's be honest, WWE has no women tag teams other than Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, Unholy Union, and Kabuki Warriors. The current tag team champs are only a team because Jade isn't ready for singles competition yet, and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are dead in the water. The addition of Sonya Deville to this group has done nothing for this team, and I was actually excited to see what they could do. Io Sky should be fighting for the world title, not stuck in a tag team with Kairi Sane. The women's tag team division has been around since 2018 and has proved to help no one out in the long run. So we need to abolish those cursed titles immediately. There is so much potential in this roster, but the creative team is fumbling everyone. Something that needs to be implemented more are some trades. The Raw roster has little star power, and a trade of Bayley or Bianca Belair can help shake things up. SmackDown truly has everyone of notable status, while Raw has a bunch of rookies or people who get no reactions at all. At the end of the day, Rhea Ripley will always be at the top of WWE, but unless the creative team plans to build up anyone else, then her next title reign will suffer the same fate as her previous one. Thank you all for watching to the end. Join the Discord if you haven't. The link is going to be down in the description below. Peace and love to you all. I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm out of here.